You've been making really good progress on your NoFap. But your Jeffrey friend keeps making fun of you. Adonis, however, congratulates you on your progress towards the golden point of NoFap.
It's not as easy as it seems, is it?
It's not at all, no.
Yeah.
No.
So now you know why I stutter so much and you always make fun of me.
I'm still gonna take the piss out. Look, this isn't my job, okay? This is all you have to do, bro.
What was your self-image like when you used to jack off?
Jesus. So when I was jacking off, there was a massive combination of Jeffrey activities that I would participate in. Mainly, video games, not leaving the house, wasting a disgusting amount of time on bullshit that didn't matter. Generally, my self-image was incredibly low. I was doing that since the age of 15 to about 21 to 22 years old with no awareness of improvements that could be made. And I've only just recently started to actually improve that mental self-image of myself because it was so deeply ingrained in me that I was this weird, pale, bad posture, addicted to video games, zero social skills, sort of this weird fellow. So it's taken me a really long time to actually sort of break out of that. Still very much so a work in progress. So yeah, no, my self-image was horrible.
I can relate to what you're saying about it mixing with the other Jeffrey activities because you don't fap in a vacuum by itself. Usually if you're a guy who faps, you watch porn, you also do a bunch of other things, and I'd say the most common one is staying up late, having a fucked up nighttime routine, morning routine. For me, I never used to stay up. Actually, no, I did. I remember I just got a flash of feeling sweaty as fuck underneath the covers, just going for round 3, literally waking up with a raw dick and then fucking my bed sheets and literally just busting all over. Oh, fuck's sake. I did that a lot. I remember there's multiple times I'd wake up and literally go 3 rounds without getting out of bed. You don't realize how much of a problem that is, how just practically it loses a lot of time. I've always said personally, because as a guy who values my time a lot, I've said one of the worst things of fapping so much is that you lose time. But I'm realizing today with the title of this video that probably the worst consequence of fapping and watching porn is what it does to your self-image, and probably the best benefit of NoFap, which so many people don't really talk about. Because a lot of people talk about these shallow improvements, which is oh, well, women will hold eye contact with you and all this. But it's the self-image, it's what you think about yourself. Because what do you think about yourself when you kind of deep down know this is going to sound cringe, but you're the beta male who has to fuck his own hand instead of having a woman around to do it? What does that say about yourself, and what thoughts, attitudes and beliefs will you have about yourself? Because I've said previously that the most important part of self-improvement, if you want to improve your life, if you want to make progress, the most important part is those internal psychological things. And I know this seems really wishy-washy, but I promise you the most effective way of improving yourself is all mental. It's all about how you see yourself, and you see yourself as a fucking loser when you're jacking off. That's why when you get onto NoFap, if you do NoFap the right way, which I'll briefly explain, but most people actually, with all the videos you've watched on NoFap, they're all trash. Most videos, most creators online who talk about NoFap, they do worse for you than actually help you, because they make you obsess over it. And then your self-image, instead of it becoming a guy who jacks off, it becomes that of a guy who can't stop jacking off. So it's as bad, if not even worse. Most people are actually worse on NoFap than they are just jacking off normally. The quick way, I don't want to waste your time, so the quick way to do NoFap properly is to essentially not really care that much about it, or not even keep it much in your mind. And when you do relapse, which is absolutely normal, you don't beat yourself up. If you have a goal in mind for NoFap, you want to get to X days, you want to get to 90 days or 30 days or 3 days or 9 days, you're doing it the wrong way. And I know that you'll want to keep the same goal, but I really, if you could just take any advice from me, abandon all goals with NoFap and just make it your intention to jack off less, with this mindset that you've been building this habit of jacking off watching porn for years, since you were 13. And so it's going to take months, if not years, to get to the golden point of NoFap, which is where you just literally, it's not even that you just don't jack off, you get those urges and stuff. It's where you don't even get the urge to jack off. You still get horny. I get horny as fuck all the time. I've increased my testosterone recently as well.
It does.
And it's disassociated from wanking. Does that make sense? It's when you're a normal loser guy, when you get an urge, you automatically relate horniness to watching porn and jacking off. The best part of NoFap is to get to the point where like fapping isn't even in your mind at all. And you get that by not obsessing over it and having that sort of like loose mind where you're just like, yep, since I've been leveling up the fapping skill for fucking 5-10 years, it's going to take me like 2 to 5 years to get to the point where I'm not jacking off at all anymore. Have that like sort of like stress-free mindset. I started NoFap at age 17 and I struggled heavily. The exact same thing of like day 2 I'd relapse and then, you know, I'm trying to go for day 10 and then day 3 I'd relapse. Then I'd jack off 4 times in one day because, you know, I'm already on day 0. You get worse when you count the days. You shouldn't count the days. You should literally just have like the overlying intention in your mind for the next few years of just like, nope, I'm not a fapper anymore. And really that's what we should talk about, is the correct self-image. And look, I could give you the fucking clickbait advice that you want. We could be sat here right now to get a better video to perform well on YouTube. We could tell you the exact same thing that all these other fucking YouTubers do, which is like, oh, the NoFap's benefit timeline. And, oh, I'm on day 1000 and this is the benefits of day 9. Shut the fuck up.
One week you get more testosterone.
Anyone who's made a video like that, I promise you right now that they are fucking trash. I promise you right now that your mental health has gotten worse by watching videos like, oh, but at day 7 I'll get shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up. Do you know how heartless this advice is? I said this to Chris Williamson. He does the Modern Wisdom podcast. So I was a guest on there and I said it to him, really opened my eyes. Imagine telling an obese guy who's addicted to junk food, imagine telling him of all of the life-changing benefits he will get from going to the gym, hyping him up for it, and then telling him that if he misses one day, all of those benefits will disappear. How fucking heartless is that these YouTubers tell you this shit? It doesn't work on a fucking streak. Your body doesn't think like, oh, he's on day 90, guys, pumping full of test. Oh no, he fapped once, like, oh, back to days. Your body isn't thinking that about yourself. It's more, how many times have you jacked off in the last 3 to 6 months? Decrease that number by saying right now, okay, oh, day 90, okay, I'm gonna go for day 90. It shows that you've got this like fucked up perception of like success. And if you can relate to the, you know, the shit I'm saying, which is like, oh, you go for day 90, you go for streaks. I guarantee, correct me if I'm wrong, I know this is gonna sound like an insult. I guarantee you have less than £2,000 in your bank account. I guarantee you're broke. I guarantee you're unsuccessful. And I know that hurts. But the reason why NoFap and success is linked together is because when you actually don't jack off as much, you kind of understand the process behind it, which is to like stop thinking about these stupid details of like, oh, let me do 9 days in a row. Let me do this. You look at it, this overlying mindset, which is just like, yep, I no longer fap. You start taking control of your fucking self-image, and that's how you reach any level of success with any goal.
Yeah, so Hamza mentions obsessing over NoFap. The easiest way to stop obsessing over NoFap is to get fucking busy, guys. Start thinking about things which will actually have a much higher ROI, such as the 4 pillars of self-improvement, which are reading, exercise, gratitude, meditation. Those things, obsessing over those things, are going to give you an incredibly high return on investment. And it's also not coming with this weird defeatist binary thinking of like, oh, if I don't meditate for 1 day, then all of my progress on meditation is just demolished, destroyed. It's worthless. I have to meditate every single day for the rest of my life. Otherwise, I will go back to this horrible state of no mental clarity. It doesn't work like that. That mindset, that binary thinking isn't going to get you anywhere apart from feeling very depressed and miserable and have a very low self-esteem. Because the fact is, you're jacking off 10 times a week, for example, okay? If you manage to jack off 8 times a week instead, that is progress. Yeah. But these like NoFap streak Andes are going to like sort of implant this thought in your brain of just like, if you jack off even once, then all of your progress is just demolished. And it is absolutely ridiculous. It doesn't work like that. It's just very marketable to young people who want the fix-all answer. Just like, if you don't touch your dick for X amount of time, you will be Giga Chad, you will be Adonis. It doesn't work like that, guys. The reality is, these things take a lot of work and a lot of discipline in many different areas of self-development. There is no, if you don't touch your dick for X amount of days, you will become Adonis. It doesn't work like that, guys. It's just marketable. And these YouTubers are selling you bullshit, complete bullshit.
Yeah, 100%. On NoFap and also just living the normal life of jacking off, your self-image is going to be decreased. And that's completely unacceptable. It's one of the worst things that can ever happen to you. What you need to do is get onto the part of the kind of NoFap which increases your self-image. So I want to take you almost through like a visualization, like a practice, like an affirmation exercise right now. Maybe just close your eyes, just see yourself, and do no longer see yourself as the guy who jacks off. No longer even see yourself as the guy who's on NoFap. Just see yourself as the guy who simply doesn't fap. Does that make sense? You need to start. Like, this is the best advice I could give you for NoFap. And trust me when I say, like, I'm a YouTuber and I could make so many videos about getting so many views. And like, these videos get a fucking lot of views when you make a video on NoFap. This is why all these fucking dumbass creators make them. And they make videos that fuck up your mental health. And you know which ones I'm talking about, even though they're liked in my community and shit. And they don't know what the fuck they're talking about. But what you need to do is to start seeing yourself not as the man who is on NoFap, but as the guy who simply doesn't jack off. I'm not on NoFap. I've jacked off maybe once in like fucking 3 years. I'm not on NoFap. I just don't jack off. There's a difference, because when you're on NoFap, you're a fucking loser. This is like the difference between a guy saying to you, oh, I'm trying to quit alcohol. You're a little bitch.
Visualize your standard sort of person, just like a really standard dude, right? And then go up to him and say like, oh yeah, I'm actually on NoFap, guys. I'm on day X or Y. And then visualize the sort of response that would elicit. You would look like a fucking weirdo. And the truth is, it's pretty fucking weird, guys, to obsess over not touching your dick. It's not a good look. It's just strange.
Nah, I disagree, because although that's true, we shouldn't be basing the things we do based on like how normal people would react, because a lot of the shit we do would be perceived as strange anyway.
That is true.
Yeah. I'd say more it's how you perceive it and how it affects your own psychology. So as I was saying, it's before Sam fucking rudely interrupted. What you need to do is see yourself as the guy who simply just doesn't jack off and watch porn anymore. You're not on NoFap. You're not trying not to. You just simply don't. See yourself as that guy. Write down, yep, I don't watch porn. I don't jack off. It's just not something I do. I feel horniness. I feel like the urges, the desire for sex and intimacy. And I feel those urges. They are disassociated away from fucking wanking my meat like a monkey. It's the difference between a guy coming up to you and saying, oh, well, I'm trying to quit drinking. That's the guy on NoFap, compared to the guy who just says, I don't drink. Which one of those is definitely not going to drink in this party? Well, the guy who said I don't drink, because the guy who says, well, I'm trying not to drink, everyone's going to be like, oh, go on, lad, get it down, your son. And it's the same for you. If you're saying, oh, well, I'm on NoFap day 63, the thing is, right, I have full confidence that you are going to fail. You tell me you're on NoFap, I have full confidence you're going to fap again. You tell me you're on day X, I have full confidence that you're going to relapse. You tell me you don't watch porn and that you don't masturbate, you probably won't for the next year. Multiple years. You need to have this self-image of the upgraded version of yourself in your mind at all times, because too many young men are living with this pathetic self-image of like, fapping is a problem for me and I'm really trying to prove it. Like, why the fuck would you place limitations on your own self-belief about yourself? I hope this is like making sense. It might not do, because if I was watching this when I was 17 years old and a wanker, I wouldn't have understood it personally. I would have thought, okay, this is wishy-washy. Just tell me which porn blocker to download onto my phone or some shit. You want the easy answer, and you want these like clickbait videos of these dumbass YouTubers talking about 90-day benefits timeline. I fucking hate them so much. Bro, if there's one kind of YouTuber I hate the most, it's the NoFap ones. Day 1000 update, fuck you. The benefit, fuck you. They don't realize what they're doing to your mind, and you watching this right now, you are suffering from this shit that these guys have done to you by putting you onto like this sort of like fixated, obsessive belief about getting to day 90. I'm telling you right now, that guy that you're looking up to, the fucking Chad that you're thinking, oh, I want to be more like him. I'm telling you right now, he's not on fucking day 90. You need to take this weird obsession away from streaks, from NoFap, from semen retention, and just live your life as if you're a guy who's just totally ingrained it. That is how you get to the best part of NoFap. That is how you improve your self-image. It's important to say this, but at the same time, we do need to also speak about the self-image you have when you're just a normal guy and you're watching porn and like you feel okay with that. It's like, it does seem cringe to talk about like alpha male and beta male, but if there's any action of the alpha and any action which symbolizes the beta, it is that the alpha is the one sleeping, like having sex, and the beta is the one masturbating. You can say it's cringe to talk about this, but it is the truth. If you really thought about it right now, what is like the one action that symbolizes an alpha male? It is having sex with the woman, or the female primate or some shit in like some animal kingdom. And the betas jack off. It's not good for your mental health, for your self-image, to say like, oh, well, it's okay to like just wank every now and then. You can live life not jacking off. A lot of guys don't actually understand this, and it really comes from like a long-term disassociation from the horniness that arises as you're a normal man, and disassociating, detaching that from the desire to jack off. Does that make sense? So most guys get that feeling that, okay, I'm horny, my dick is hard, and they automatically think that means that they have to jack off. You need to detach that relationship. So again, I get horny all the time. My dick gets hard all the time, but I just don't really do anything with it. Maybe I'll go have sex with a woman. When I'm not going to have sex, it's like, it's there, and I'm just kind of enjoying the thing of like, yep, like my dick's hard and I'm horny, boom. It doesn't mean, oh, I'm horny, so I should go jack off. You need to detach that, and you've got this, like, it's a habit you've built this habit for what, years. The average guy starts jacking off at like 13 years old.
Yeah, I was gonna ask you, Hamza, why were we told that jacking off is like normal and okay, and it's somewhat like weirdly encouraged to like, you know,
it's healthy. Like,
why was that?
It's the same as like every weak Jeffrey activity being encouraged to young men these days. Maybe the conspiracy theory is like the society wants like weaker men that can't create like a revolution, or quite frankly, it's just like the weaker older people who just are coping so hard that they want other people to follow in their footsteps.
Literally crabs.
So, yeah, fucking crabs. Yeah, most people, especially that's older, insane. Like 40-year-old people, they're ignorant and they're crabs. This is no disrespect to some like successful, like educated 40-year-old, but the truth is, you want to know the fucking raw truth? Your teachers are unsuccessful, broke, and uneducated. Your parents are probably unsuccessful, broke, and uneducated. It's the fucking truth. It's a hard to swallow pill. But when you look at like research and data and you read books, and then you just see how wrong all of like the adults were when we were growing up, and they told us like all this bullshit. You can't take advice from people who are fine living in mediocrity. I hope this helps you, and I sincerely hope you can find ways to improve your self-image and detach away from like the NoFap identity that's like, you know, that's part of your self-image, because you'll do so much better. You'll get to higher streaks if you don't think about streaks.
Do the hard work, especially when you don't feel like it.
That's it though.